Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the data to unpack a massive, massive anomaly in the electric vehicle market. We're going to look at how one specific company is using software to fundamentally transform from a regular car manufacturer into an entire physical AI ecosystem. Now, if you follow the auto industry, you know it's been a total roller coaster lately. But right beneath the surface of all those quarterly earnings and delivery metrics, well, there's a much bigger story brewing about the very future of transportation, automation, and artificial intelligence. Let's get right into it.
We've got to start with a seriously compelling mystery. How on earth did one single brand see a massive surge in deliveries when the rest of the market basically fell off a cliff? It's a fascinating puzzle, honestly. Think about it. You have this industry that's leaned so heavily on government subsidies to get people to buy, and suddenly, bam, a brutal reality check. What actually happens when you take the training wheels off the EV market?
Well, just look at the stark contrast in these numbers. When a huge $7,500 federal tax credit vanished for a ton of vehicles, the overall U.S. EV market didn't just slow down a little bit, it tanked by 20% in the second quarter. Competitors were practically begging people to take inventory off their lots. But then, on the flip side, Tesla's global deliveries somehow jumped 25% during that exact same time frame. Look, losing a $7,500 discount, that's a brutal stress test for any product. It strips away the illusion of a bargain and forces a vehicle to actually earn its price tag on its own merit. So how exactly did Tesla ace a test that everybody else failed? That brings us to Section 1, the FSD turning point. To really grasp this anomaly, we have to look way past the whole cheaper base models argument. What we are actually witnessing is a monumental shift in consumer behavior. It's the mainstream realization of full self-driving, or FSD. People outside the tech bubble are finally waking up and realizing, wait, this isn't just some sci-fi gimmick anymore. And the adoption rates completely back this up. Get this staggering number from the earnings report, 1.48 million. That is 1.48 million active subscribers to the FSD software. That's a 56% jump from the previous year. Plus, over 55% of all new Teslas delivered in North America during that quarter included an FSD subscription right off the lot. Consumers aren't just buying a car anymore. They're explicitly buying the autonomous software package that drives it. To put this rapid evolution into perspective, check out this quote from Motor Trend. They're one of the most respected independent auto publications out there. In 2025, they literally called Tesla's system exhausting and unpredictable. They even gave their top award to a competitor. But fast forward just one single year, and after testing a newer version of FSD, they did a total 180. They completely reversed their stance, crowning it the best driver assistance system on the market. That kind of rapid public flip from a major critic highlights how insanely fast this technology is improving. It's shifting the public vibe from a weird, futuristic science experiment to an absolute must-have feature. Just imagine you're cross-shopping two EVs right now. They've got similar range, similar monthly payments. Now, option A, a traditional EV, gives you a battery, a motor, a nice shiny screen, and maybe some basic lane keeping for the highway. But option B is an autonomous unit that drives the entire trip, from your driveway directly into a parking space while you just sit back and supervise. The source likens this paradigm shift to comparing a horse-drawn carriage to a modern car. They just aren't the same product anymore. One is a machine you are forced to operate, and the other is a personal, autonomous transportation unit. Which naturally leads to the million-dollar question, why don't competitors just copy it?
Let's explore that in Section 2, the data flywheel.
The reason competitors can't just copy-paste this overnight comes down to a continuous AI learning loop that acts as the car's brain. It's a four-step dance. First, the cameras capture the physical world around the car. Second, a highly advanced AI neural network processes those images to understand lanes, pedestrians, stoplights, you name it. Third, the system predicts what's going to happen next. And finally, step 4 is inference, meaning the onboard computer actually executes the steering and braking commands in real time. The big takeaway here is that traditional automakers can't just call up a parts supplier and order a magic component to do this. It is a deeply integrated, proprietary blend of hardware and software that takes literally years to perfect. And the absolute trump card of this entire system, scale. 13 billion. That is the number of miles the fleet has driven using FSD. 13 billion miles. This is incredibly crucial because the AI learns by chewing on rare, real-world edge cases. Think about it. You, as a driver, might see a mattress fall off a truck on the highway exactly once in your entire life. But a connected fleet of millions of vehicles, they are seeing weird construction zones, totally unpredictable human behavior, and bizarre weather events every single minute of every single day.
The system gobbles up those moments, learns from them, and immediately pushes a smarter update back out to the entire fleet. Which brings us to Section 3, Legacy Auto's Trap. So while Tesla is operating out there like a nimble Silicon Valley software company, traditional legacy automakers are caught in a massive structural bind. We call it the gas profit and dealership dilemma. These legacy brands are effectively trapped. They know they need to transition to electric, but doing it right now loses them billions. So they have to fiercely protect the profitable gas-guzzling trucks and SUVs that are actually keeping their lights on today. And it matters worse, they sell everything through local dealership networks. Those dealerships survive on recurring revenue like oil changes, transmission fixes, engine repairs, maintenance that electric vehicles fundamentally just don't need. It creates this massive internal tug-of-war that completely bottlenecks their innovation. And while legacy auto is bogged down fighting its own internal battles, Tesla's architecture lets them monetize a single car in 4 distinct, compounding ways. First off, they get the traditional hardware sale or lease. Second, that exact same car generates recurring software revenue through a monthly FSD subscription. Third, every single mile driven harvests invaluable data to train their future AI models, completely for free. And fourth, the car is literally a viral marketing tool. When an owner lets the car drive a skeptical buddy across town, or when someone uses the upcoming robotaxi hailing network, the car sells itself through demonstration, no traditional advertising needed. But here's the real kicker. All of this, the data, the cash flow, it's not even just about selling electric cars anymore. We are watching a total metamorphosis.
And that leads us to our final section, from cars to robots.
All those billions of consumer miles we talked about, they are actively training an AI that is going to power the CyberCab. This is a 2-seat vehicle built from the ground up strictly for autonomous rides. I'm talking 0 steering wheels, 0 pedals, none. Slated for production in the first half of 2026, it's designed to be a high-volume, super low-cost robotaxi. Honestly, the consumer cars on the road today, they were basically just a Trojan horse, required to gather enough data to make this fully driverless robot an actual reality.
But guys, it gets even wilder, because once you teach an AI to successfully drive a car through a chaotic, unpredictable city, you've essentially built an AI that can see, plan, and physically navigate the real world. And once you crack that code, you can put that exact same brain into other forms. That is exactly what's happening. The very same AI vision, planning software, and low-power inference chips used in the cars are being transplanted right into Optimus, the humanoid robot. Optimus has arms, legs, hands, and it's explicitly designed to eventually step in and handle unsafe, boring, or highly repetitive human labor. And the craziest part is production lines for these robots are already being built as we speak.
When you zoom out and look at the whole board, the core thesis becomes crystal clear. Tesla is brilliantly using its current auto sales, the Model 3s and Ys, to fund and build a massive, interconnected physical AI ecosystem. We're talking consumer cars, commercial cybercabs, the Optimus labor robots, and underneath it all, massive data centers powered by custom chips built in a joint partnership with SpaceX. It is a closed-loop ecosystem. The hardware funds the software collects the data, and that data is building the robots of the future. So, we started this explainer looking at what seemed like a strange jump in quarterly car deliveries, but what we're actually looking at is a blueprint for the future. As this dramatic shift from a traditional car manufacturer to a sprawling physical AI ecosystem accelerates, it leaves us with a pretty profound question to chew on. What exactly happens to our society, our economy, and our daily lives when autonomous physical AI robots, whether they're rolling on 4 wheels or walking on 2 legs, become a totally normal, everyday part of human civilization? It is a reality that's approaching a whole lot faster than most people realize. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.